Hope everyone's well and you're not getting too cold. This particular job, a lady's called me in to try and tidy this hedge up, which she was saying apparently it had been reduced by someone in September and the sides trimmed, and it needed sorting out basically. Bearing in mind the sides were apparently trimmed in September, you can see how much has got to come off it. I couldn't actually film myself cutting the top because there's so many people walking up and down the path. I just had to delete the footage, to be honest with you. But you will see in a second. There's the bit I've just done to tidy the top up, and this is what I'm chomping through. Which, like, as I said, you know, you expect, if on a reduction, you expect bits to ping up, but at least be level, and it wasn't. I actually had to cut some bits out. Some big old knuckles been left in there, and I had to take them down by 2-3 inches. And there's the top, nearly finished now. This bit on the end made me laugh. How could you miss that bit? To be honest, it's you know, it's a little bit naughty. I actually used the battery Husky for a little bit, just because it was there, really, to be honest with you. It was in the van. I hadn't charged it or anything, so I got about half hour out of it before the battery died. And but you can see how much is coming off, and considering this was trimmed in September, there's more than you'd expect, shall we say. One of my all-time pet hates, when you've seen people doing hedges, or you know, you followed up somebody else, is when you see bits at the bottom, ground level, missed. That really annoys me when I see that. It's I never understand why people miss bits at the bottom. Never do. And this hedge was no exception. It had quite a few bits left. Since I got the tripod ladder, apart from when I've had particularly high work and I've had to take extension, I would think I've been using this probably 85% of the time. Really like the ladder, really do. It gets in them places other ladders you just can't reach, and it's very light, very light indeed. I went for the 8-foot ladder pretty much because, sort of looking back through the year on the height hedges, the 8-foot seemed the most versatile, but I could actually get a 10-foot ladder on the roof of the van. Even though it's a small van, it would fit. I actually did this hedge Wednesday last week, and the weather was pretty rubbish, really. It was a total washout Monday. I got wet Tuesday, and this particular day it was murky and horrible, and I got wet again. But this week, or certainly the forecast for this week, is not so much wet but frozen, and I think it's going to be white. I did put a little sheet down just through this bit here. She got some beds and she'd put some fresh compost on. I didn't really fancy trying to pick all them little bits out of fresh compost, so at this point I'm just finishing off the side on the inside. As you can see, the large conifer that's in the hedge, I've rounded the top of it off a little bit, but the furthest end of the hedge is actually probably a foot higher than this end. I'm not sure why. But you can actually see from this point of view now, I've managed to sort of straighten out the top. In the perfect world, this hedge, next year or two, wants at least 2 cuts a year. Perhaps let it grow out an inch or two as well, and I think it would make a reasonable hedge then. I seem to be getting a ridiculous amount of conifer hedges of late. Hopefully the next video will be of a hawthorn hedge, but it depends how the footage come out. I've not actually seen it yet, but fingers crossed with that one. I do have quite a few jobs in my diary for the next 2-3 weeks, which aren't conifer hedges, you might be pleased to hear, which I'm quite pleased about as well, to be honest with you. It's nice to cut something different, but all down to the weather at the moment. But hopefully we're sort of in the death throes of winter now, and spring is round the corner. And there it is, all done. I was actually quite pleased how this one came out. I managed to get it pretty level. As you can see, that far end's about a foot higher. And there's a bit of the outside, and unusually there's no browning in this hedge at all, so it does have something in its favour. And sod's law, as always, as soon as I got the tools away, the sun come out, but it's always the way. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed. Thank you.